We are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome to the Ring View Podcast. My name is Barry Grant Jr. You can see Josh Tariff over there with his Orlando Magic mascot.
Play the song. Play the damn song.
I am not playing any song. Okay, I'm not playing any song.
Well, we're about to pull off a good old 8-seed upset.
The series isn't over yet. Okay, don't start counting the money until the money is in your hand. That's all I'm saying.
It's so close. It's right there.
It's very close.
Right there.
But, stranger things have happened. Just like how everybody's telling me, oh, well, the Houston Rockets, they won game 4, so now the Lakers are in trouble. Sure we are. No, we're not.
No, they're not.
So
no, the Lakers are winning tomorrow. That one's a gimme too.
I can't wait till they, and I hope Austin Reeves comes back so we can bury them for good. But how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. It was pretty good week. Catching up on some things. Got to finally catch up on sleep. I think I'm finally recovered from Vegas. Took like a week and a half.
I was definitely going to ask you. All that stuff is good that you just said, but the one thing that I was really interested in is, did you get some sleep, sir?
This past weekend, I finally got some sleep. You know what? I did laundry. That's how riveting this weekend was.
So you had nothing but events last week, and what you did this week was your highlight of laundry.
100%. But no, my highlight is of course getting to see her and talk with you and
just don't try to butter me up. Don't do that.
As you got your cute little shark on your hat, and I'm trying to remember what that logo is actually.
Miami Sharks any given Sunday.
Oh God, that's a reference.
Oh yeah.
Willie Beeman. All right, Willie Beeman, screaming Willie Beeman.
I'm always stylish, man. This is what we do. This is what people in New York do. You know what I mean? Like, we always kind of, just got the swag, man. It's just natural.
Why did the New York accent only come out when you explained that you're from New York?
Because I normally don't use my New York accent because there's no reason for it. I speak very prim and proper. I'm extremely bougie. I told you I'm an elitist. I've always been.
Yes.
So but yeah, let's just get into some wrestling. Obviously, we have Monday Night Raw to break down and talk about. It was a very weird show. Not bad, just strange in regards to like the feeling of the show was kind of like very erratic how it was booked. I just didn't really understand it. So we'll get into that. But the biggest thing that we also want to talk about are these WWE releases. Obviously, it's after Mania, releases happen all the time, but there were a lot of releases this time around, Josh. Like a lot of releases that were head scratchers. And there's always one or two every year, but this one just felt a little different to me. I don't know if you agree with that.
I completely agree. And we knew spring cleaning was going to be coming. This was one of our predictions of the year.
You did. I think you called like 15.
I believe I said there would be at least 15 releases as of this past weekend, or not even the weekend, Friday before SmackDown even aired.
Yeah.
We had between the main roster and developmental 24 releases. And I'll just run through the names. Many of these names you guys know from the main roster. Some of them were in developmental that you may or may not ever really saw.
Yeah.
But releases up to this point, because there could still be more in the next week or so. We don't know. But right now, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Alba Fire, Zoe Stark, Bo Dallas, Andre Chase, Dexter Lumis, Eric Rowan, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin, also known as the Motor City Machine Guns, Santos Escobar, Apollo Crews, Kairi Sane, Luca Crucifino, who they just repackaged, Tyson DuPont, Tyreek Igwe, Serena Linton, Trill London, who they were just building up, Malik Blade, Tyra May Steele, who won season 1 of LFG, Chris Island, and Carly Bright. So a number of names in all different levels of from developmental to main eventers were one swift kick out the door on Friday. And there are definitely a few of these that are huge surprises, but I want to start with a couple that maybe weren't as big surprises, but still kind of annoyed by. So I want to start actually with the Wyatt Six, because obviously all 5 of them are gone.
All gone.
The entire Wyatt Six is gone. And this was a group where, if you recall, they had one of the greatest, most impactful debuts ever. It was a literal crime scene at the end of that Monday Night Raw. There was wrestlers, agents, referees, security guards beaten and bloodied and just destroyed by these monsters. And then they were gone. And then they came back and were baby faces. And then they were gone. And then they came back, won the tag titles, had a mix of face and heel and face and heel. And then they were gone. And then they came back and lost to the MFTs. And then they're gone for good. Nikki Cross, correct me if I'm wrong. In this entire, 2-year run of the Wyatt Six, did Nikki Cross ever have an actual match?
Not a one-on-one match.
Not a singles match.
No. Not a single one.
No. Did Eric Rowan ever have a singles match?
I'm trying to think.
I honestly don't think he did.
He
Maybe one.
He might have had one, but not many.
And this group was highlighted as far as the in-ring work with the tag title run of Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis.
Right.
We never really got much of a singles push with Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas. Now, there was a period in that he got hurt. So that obviously put a halt on things. But this was the group that was supposed to just completely wreak havoc and turn WWE upside down. And then they just became an occasional spectacle. And now they're just gone. What are your thoughts with it?
I think that it's just typical WWE to not understand how to book anything called the Wyatts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just be honest. Like, when Bray Wyatt was alive, and God rest his soul, they botched that too. The only time that they actually got Bray Wyatt right is when they booked him to win the heavyweight title. He won the title at the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
And then what did they proceed to do after that?
He lost that at Mania to Randy Orton.
But they gave us a garbage storyline that really didn't like materialize properly to be able to really like have the buzz for that match.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just typical WWE. They just never knew what to do with Bray Wyatt. They never knew what to do with the Wyatt family. They never knew what to do with Rowan and Harper. They never knew what to do with anything. And now they get this spectacular debut where they literally lay everybody out. What was the follow-up? Nothing, because these writers had no idea what to do with them. And Triple H talks about it all the time. Well, we make movies. Well, motherfucker, you had literally a scary movie right here to be able to book, and you couldn't do it. It was literally right there for you. We talked about it several times when it started, right?
Yeah.
Before we had this show, we were saying like, yo, all you have to do is book them like heels and have them terrorize people. And all you had to do was just have some cinematic, like backstage promos or whatever it is to really start building what they're doing. And then you can be able to have some in-ring stuff. But here's the problem. Here's the major problem that they had, that they literally booked themselves into a corner and they realized that they couldn't go any further. Once they started booking them to have magical powers, it was over. It was over. They should have been booked like psychopaths. That's it. Right?
They should have been booked like psychopaths. And to your point, and I remember talking about this when they first debuted as well.
Yeah.
I said, no one in this group should lose a match for a minimum of a year.
Correct. Build it up.
You got to build up. each one on how psychotic and more dominant each one is to the following one.
And on top of that,
with Uncle Howdy being the craziest of them all.
And on top of that, just to be able to piggyback off your point, we never got backstory. Why did Nikki Cross become Sister Abigail? Why, like all of these things, we never got any character development at all. Again, you want to talk about movies, where's your character development? We got none of it.
Yeah.
We got none of it. So we knew that this was coming. I knew that they were going to get released at some point, but it was just, I was shocked that they released all of them and didn't at least keep Dexter Lumis because he's such a good hand. Why you would get rid of Dexter Lumis is just like, come on now. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I hate it, but it's not shocking to me.
See, I felt that same exact way, but with Nikki Cross instead of Dexter Lumis. Because
same thing with her.
You could have inserted her in, whether you had her right back into women's division as a good hand, or you have her, as an agent.
Right.
Because she's so knowledgeable with everything regarding women's wrestling, and so good, not just in ring, but the character work as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she pulled off being a superhero.
Right.
And won Money in the Bank as a superhero.
I just think that, whether it was Vince or Triple H, when she was in NXT, there just never was a time where I felt like she was getting the proper push that she deserved.
Yeah.
Like she was always just like, oh my God, there's Rhea, there's Becky, there's this. Oh yeah, Nikki Cross over there. Like, you know what I mean? She never felt included in regards to what was happening with all the other women when she's just as good as those women.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons they probably didn't, which is a sad reason, is because the look, she's short, but not, like super, jacked per se, even for her height.
Yeah.
But at you and I, that's complete BS because we know that she could run laps around most of the roster.
Yeah.
And was, again, not just in the ring, but with the character development and the mic work and
her psychology.
All about the eyes and the facials, the psychology. She did that, whether it was Insanity, Buddies with Alexa Bliss, the Superhero, Sister Abigail, whatever it was, she showed out every time.
She's one of the people that
it's crazy.
She's one of the people that I believe that, she would do very well in AEW just because she has all of those things that you just mentioned. And given the opportunity, she can really be able to make some headway, or she can make a lot of money on the indies, honestly. Like, she can, it's one of those things where she can be able to reinvent herself. And I wouldn't be surprised if WWE or AEW comes calling in like 6 months from now, because she's so good that she's going to get another opportunity.
And on the indies, she could be one of 3 different people.
Yeah.
She could be Nikki. She could be Abigail. She could be, what was her superhero name? Now I'm drawing a blank on the superhero name. But Nikki ASH.
ASH.
Yeah. So I mean, she can be booked. Like she can do like a 3 Faces of Foley type appearance.
Yeah.
So she'd be great at that. Another one of the releases that you want to talk about a great hand to have, and this one, I wasn't liking how they were using her to begin with, just because of the package and what she can provide, but she did her role incredibly well. Alba Fire. Alba Fire was the longest reigning UK women's champion that they had, and she technically, like as far as technical wrestling, you could argue that she was the best on the roster.
Once they renamed her Alba Fire, she was cooked.
Mm-hmm.
She was cooked.
Yep. Get ready for her to immediately get in the women's title picture in AEW.
100%.
And she is gonna, you talk about how Toni Storm completely like reinvented herself and got over in AEW. Alba Fire is going to do something very similar to that.
And what I like about her too is that she's physical, and you don't see that a lot with women So that's why she's gonna fit very well, especially in AEW, because they do have a little bit of more of a physical style there for the women. So, which is actually pretty good. So I'm hoping that she gets signed with AEW.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
I do also want to mention Zoe Stark, because I have been a huge fan of Zoe since NXT, and she was probably pound for pound the most athletic, not athletic woman, maybe one of the most athletic people on the entire roster before she got that gruesome injury on that Monday Night Raw, and she just got medically cleared
and got released.
So I really hope, whether it's AEW, TNA, Japan, somewhere, you got a gold mine in Zoe Stark.
Yeah,
because she can put on 5-star matches.
Yep.
I'm not surprised with this one, but Motor City Machine Guns I just kind of find funny.
Yes, extremely fun. I think for them, and you probably might agree with me when I say this, is that I just think that they just wanted to say that they were in WWE to kind of live their dream just one time, right? They probably knew that going to WWE was not going to be a good career move, just in regards to like how they were going to be utilized. But they were just like, bro, we got to go to WWE anyway. We just got to say that we achieved our dream to be able to be in WWE. And they did that. And, you know, they were given the tag team titles. Doesn't mean anything, no. But, you know, they checked off the bucket list. Now they can be able to go to AEW and really make some headway, because them in AEW against the Young Bucks, against, you know, FTR, there's so many other teams that they can be able to really work with. That's going to be beneficial for them. So that's where they should have headed the first place. But I can understand that you want to check off, you know, kind of a bucket list thing.
Yeah, and here's the other thing with them, though. I mean, Chris Sabin's 44, Alex Shelley's 42.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see him going into AEW. I don't know if it's going to be a long run.
Yeah, probably. Listen, they can do a nice 2-year run and be done.
Sure, I can see that.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
I can absolutely see that. But yeah, just exactly like you said, heavily advertised as, you know, like your favorite tag team's favorite tag team. You know, hyping them to the mood. Immediately win the tag titles, then immediately lose them, and then are just there.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, oh, releases are coming. Sadly, this one didn't surprise me, as incredibly talented as both of them are.
Absolutely.
I do want to give some flowers to Apollo Crews, because he avoided his phone for so many years. But again, this is a guy that could easily be in your main event. He has the ring work. He has the look. He has the mic skills. He can do it all.
One of the most athletic guys you'll ever see.
They never, in 10 years he was on the main roster, never probably found a spot for him. And I'm including that run that he actually did have it with the Intercontinental Champion being like the Nigerian, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They had a diamond in Apollo Crews and couldn't make it work for whatever reason.
It's always funny how when you look at wrestlers' runs in NXT, and then you see that their main roster run, is just like, why can't you just do that?
Yeah.
Like, he was just so dynamic with how he put his moves together, and him being this like compact, just immense power. Like there was nothing that Apollo Crews couldn't do in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes me upset, is because there's no reason why Apollo Crews couldn't be in your mid-card, high mid-card for a very long time, because there was no reason for him not to be in there. Fan favorite, got people love him, but you just never made him interesting enough for people to really be sold on him.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part, is that, you know, it's one thing to not have any talent and they keep trying things with you and it doesn't work. All you had to do was just give us what you gave us in NXT, and they just never did.
And then come the three names that are by all accounts, the biggest head scratches of all of them. First off, the pairing of Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. By the way, Aleister Black was in the forefront of the Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes feud. It looked like it was all set for him to, after Mania, either feud with Randy or be the next person for the WWE Championship. Zelina was finally settling back into being what she's a very good wrestler, but honestly, what she does best is the managerial role.
Yes.
And she's fallen back into that while still wrestling. And they had that dynamic going. They had the talks with Sammy. They had the talks with Randy. They had the talks with Cody. They're all over the picture, including stalking Jelly Roll at one point. So they were there, and poof, they're gone. How did this even happen?
You asking?
I mean, that was kind of a question.
Triple H, to me, because this falls on Paul Levesque's desk, nobody else's.
Okay. You don't think this was a TKO decision?
I think TKO does not tell Paul Levesque, hey, you need to release this person. They give Paul Levesque a budget. This is the number that we need to get to. You need to find a way to get to this number. So Triple H then now goes to the roster and sees exactly what redundancies he wants to make. Biggest problem that I have with this is that Aleister Black was a made man in NXT. There was nobody at that time that was hotter than Aleister Black. Entrance, music, skill set, move set, promo work, everything about Aleister Black screamed megastar.
Yep.
Gets up to the main roster and Vince McMahon does bullshit. We know what happened.
Yes.
He left, went to AEW, and just literally sat around for 4 years. They had some stuff.
I'm going to disagree. They started with him as a main man because he beat Cody.
Yes, his debut, he beat Cody, but
then they decided to put him with the team, and then he faded to a security. Yes.
After that, it was pretty much just him just kind of laying around.
They had him set to be main event, and then just like with WWE, for whatever reason, boom,
like he just never connected with Tony Khan. The rest is history. He comes back to WWE because he trusted Triple H. Triple H took care of him in NXT. Vince McMahon fucked him up on the main roster. So him coming back to WWE was like, all right, cool. I'm coming back to WWE because my man is in charge. Like, we're going to be able to do this the right way. And Triple H dropped the ball with him again. And there is no reason why Aleister Black shouldn't have been running SmackDown.
Yeah.
Outside of Cody being champion and Randy there and all these other personalities, Aleister Black should have been, like you said, he was in all these storylines and all these other names. He should have been tormenting every single person on SmackDown because he's that good. You don't give Karrion Kross a contract. You move on from Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and then you give the gimmick to Selena and Aleister Black, and then you cut them a year to the day that you signed them, that he made his debut, a year to the day. So you only give Aleister Black a year to be able to figure it out on a SmackDown roster.
And he did figure it out.
And he did figure out on a SmackDown show that's devoid of star power.
Yeah.
You couldn't get him over on SmackDown. That is a Triple H problem. That has nothing to do with TKO. That got nothing to do with Ari. This is a Triple H issue, is that you fucked up. You fucked up. Your writers had no idea what to do with him. And this is what happens to Aleister Black. There's a good chance that he comes back. But if I'm Aleister Black, why would I?
Yeah.
Why would I? I'd rather either go in the indies with Zelina, do our thing. Nobody's going to screw with us. Or I just retire from wrestling. He's done everything that he wanted to do in regards to like just making an impact. He doesn't need to wrestle anymore because he's made a lot of money. He doesn't have anything to prove. But if he still wants to continue his career, then I would just go to the indies. I wouldn't sign to anybody. Just because you just can't. There's no way you can trust Triple H at this point because the reports just came down that he just signed a 3-year deal. So TKO is very happy with his production, but we are not really happy with how he's utilized a lot of people on the roster. It's just stupid. This is really stupid. No disrespect, I see dudes like Damian Priest out there just doing nonsense. You don't have space for Aleister Black. I see. What's his name that just fought Obafemi tonight?
Grayson Waller.
Great, you got Grayson Waller here, but you don't have space for Aleister Black. Give me a fucking break. It's just dumb. It's just absolutely stupid.
Well, on the subject of stupid, there's one more release to talk about.
No, don't get me started with this. I got hot just now. I'm about to be on fire.
So you don't want me to bring up Santos Escobar?
Oh, not him.
Okay. Oh. Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane, who was in the midst of a storyline that should have had a Mania match. And being that they didn't, should have then been in the tag title match as a replacement because you could have still built the story. Then you have the Raw after Mania where you continue to build the story and escalate it further by having a dominant tag team match with her and Asuka against Rhea and Io Sky. The crowd, and for us for months, has been, when is Kairi going to finally have enough of Asuka? And when are we going to get this Kairi versus Asuka student versus teacher feud? Because that makes sense. We wanted to see it happen. We wanted to see her realign with Io. We wanted to see Kairi finally actually get some type of singles push because they had it written and ready to go.
And the fans were invested. They never got tired of it.
And that was proof with tonight, as we get ready to get into Raw, when we had the Asuka segment, the crowd was just chanting, "We want Kairi."
Yep.
Now, there was a situation last year around this time when WWE released R-Truth.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone went nuts, and rightfully so, because R-Truth is a human treasure. And all of a sudden, I believe it was at Backlash,
yep,
R-Truth unexpectedly returned based on the fan outrage. Can Kairi come back at Backlash now that they've announced Io versus Asuka? Sure, they can, but we already know it's not going to nearly have the type of impact that the R-Truth one did because we just saw that whole thing happen. So you put yourself in a horrible situation that you never had to put yourself into to begin with because you never had to release her. You could have kept this going. If you decided in 6 months to release her after this story played out, all right, would have sucked, but then we would have gotten the payoff that we've been building for 6 months towards.
Yeah.
But you release her. If you were to bring her back, there'll be a pop for that moment. But then we're going to be like, all right, well, now we can't take anything that anyone ever says seriously anymore. Because now you're making this you're making this a bit. If you release someone, but then immediately bring them back. So this could not have been a worse decision by the WWE. I don't care who made the decision. Whoever made it should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
Because you had printed money for this feud that people wanted to see. And then you can do whatever you want with her, whether you cement the face turn, you move one of them to SmackDown, whatever the case may be. You have built this for nearly 6 months. And now we're supposed to forget that all of it happened.
This is another case of, again, Kairi Sane in NXT was awesome.
Yep.
The Pirate Princess, the entrance, the move set, the finisher off the top rope. I love that elbow, right? Everything about her was money.
Mm-hmm.
She gets up to the main roster, and Vince McMahon goes ahead and screws us up again. Like, this is Kairi Sane if you just notice her facials, how she can be able to tell a story in regards to like her being scared of Asuka, and then we were just waiting for her to kind of like muster up that courage to be able to just tell her, I've had enough. It was getting there. She was telling those stories with her facials, and you don't release people like this that get it. There's nothing wrong with Kairi Sane. There was nothing wrong with what she was doing. You need female stars. You need new stars. You need breath of fresh air. She can be able to provide all of that. And yet you go ahead and you release her. It's just silly, man. Like I said, like, you know, WWE releases, we talk about it every year, and we always have same conversations about certain releases, but this year just felt a little weird, man, because it's just like, why would you go for these three people? Zelina, Aleister Black, Kyrie. It's like, there's no reason to have them go.
And I mean, and this is not like trying to call out other wrestlers, because you never want anyone to lose their job. But if I were looking at the Raw and SmackDown rosters, I can point out 3 to 5 people on each of the shows who, not saying that they're bad, but that they're just not doing anything with them.
Right.
So, maybe it would have been time for that person to go,
yeah.
As opposed to someone who was in a main event caliber type feud.
Right.
And then poof, gone without any explanation, without any payoff, without nothing. It's honestly, this is the area of the business where, yes, it's part of the business, but it sucks as part of being part of the business.
That's the worst part,
because it's wrong when a person like that, who's being heavily used, loses their job, while some other people that have not been on TV in months, for whatever the reason is, are still holding on to spots.
Yeah. Listen, it just comes down to Triple H's decisions and 2 words that a lot of people realize in wrestling: downside guarantee. That downside guarantee matters to everything when it comes to releases.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, whoever has the highest downside guarantee, they will go ahead and let them go. And it doesn't shock me in regards to that particular aspect why Aleister Black was on that list. But it's just like, you want to develop stars. You want to have stars on your program, yet you let one go out the door twice.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, you didn't let one go out the door. You kicked one out the door twice.
Correct. Twice. And it's like, what's the point of getting invested into anybody when you're just going to go ahead and do this?
Mm-hmm.
When they have a good gimmick. That's the whole point. Like, we don't understand if it wasn't working. It was working, because at the end of the day, had we not got Pat McAfee, we would have probably got Aleister Black in that situation, and it would have made all the sense in the world.
You're making a very interesting point here. Could we, not a Triple H thing, could we say Pat McAfee cost Aleister Black his job?
100%. 100%. 100%.
I wonder if Pat McAfee ever gets wind of something like that, how he would react to something like that.
I think Pat McAfee is already very upset by the way the whole thing went down and how he's being portrayed out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Adding fuel to the fire would definitely make him a lot more angry. I definitely would predict that. But yeah, I think that you have it spot on, that Pat McAfee, with no real intention of his own, got Aleister Black canned. And it sucks, because we could have got something really special, not only before Mania, but after Mania.
Right, because again, if with, you know, like Cody's promo that he gave this past SmackDown, because obviously who knows if he's even going to be cleared to wrestle at Backlash with his injury.
Right.
But if we were holding off a rematch with him and Randy, well, the way everything looked on SmackDown, it would have made the most sense for it to be Cody and Alistair.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, on the SmackDown side, we get rid of the guy and his manager, who would have obviously been a huge part of it, who would have been involved in a WWE title match at Backlash, as well as we get rid of, on the Raw side, one of the women who has had a 6-month build, which is such a rarity that you have a build like that where there's no title involvement.
Right. And the fans are still invested.
And the fans are invested and behind it and want it to be a main event.
Yeah.
Poof, gone.
Just stupid. That's the only word that I can use. Just stupid. WWE is starting to get a lot more stupid than I remember. I mean, there's been some lean years, but like this just feels comical. It's just dumb. Are we done with this? Because I'm upset.
Oh, well, let's cheer up by talking about a very odd Monday Night Raw then.
Yes, let's go into the very weird antics of Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
How did we start? We started with
Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker having a tan off.
You mean Triple H? Because I couldn't tell who was doing that promo to start Raw. Was that Triple H or was that Seth Rollins? I'm like, what are you doing, dog? You're a little bit too hype, bro. You need to dial that back. I couldn't understand what he was saying. He sounded like Triple H.
And in addition with this, and this was kind of like a common theme for a few areas tonight. Why did I feel like Braun Breaker was the babyface in this promo exchange?
Did you?
I did. Because Seth Rollins is insulting the people that he's around and is telling Braun Breaker, you're not ready.
Yeah.
The you're not ready is the classic, hey, let's root for the underdog type scenario. And we are trying to make Braun Breaker an underdog, which is weird in itself. But that's the story of Braun, you're not ready for this level yet. And Braun saying, yes, I am. Seth saying, no, you're not. And it eventually, resulted in Braun challenging Seth, and now we're going to have that match at Backlash.
The biggest problem that I have is that, okay, we get Braun spearing Seth a few times in Mania. We get Seth giving Braun 7 stitches in the back of his head after hitting him with a high chair shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get this week them just being very cool, calm, and they can be able to now speak to each other.
Right. It should have been the other way around.
Like, I understand the whole WrestleMania thing because you had to build the feud, but there was no reason to get physical last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just bad. And again, you start off your program weird, and it just continued to get weird from there. Now, what I did like, I liked the way Seth ended the actual confrontation where he was telling Braun that he's not even the second best Steiner in his family. That was cool, but where do we go from here? Let me see what they actually build from here.
And the more that they call him a Steiner, the less I want to call him Breaker.
I think they should change his name.
Why can't he be Braun? Why can't he be Braun Steiner?
Why can't he just be Braun Steiner? I don't know.
Yeah. Or isn't his real name Rex?
Yeah, Rex Steiner.
Yeah.
Bronson Rex Steiner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just felt odd to me because it almost felt like, well, it's very clear who the face and heel are in this. It almost felt like they were trying to do this promo to make you question it.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to muddy the waters a bit. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think it was a good promo segment. I think they did a very good job between the two of them. It just the timeline of events is just out of order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From that, we went to Penta versus Rusev. Rusev did not get his TV intro yet again. They don't give him his entrance for some reason.
He's so good. I don't understand why you get treated like that. I love Rusev.
And the match itself was fine. Penta won. The big story was Ethan Page was down watching.
He's so cool.
I love Ethan Page so much. After the match, Ethan Page and Rusev gang up on Penta after he got the win. Javon Evans came out for the save. We know this is leading to probably a tag match next week.
Yeah.
And then probably a fatal 4-way at Backlash for the IC title. So good that at least Rusev's being involved in the title picture with stuff.
Yeah.
Great that Ethan Page is being catapulted like this.
Yeah.
And dare I say that the crowd does not want Penta to retain at Backlash? I feel like they'd be happy with either Ethan, Rusev, or especially Javon Evans to somehow win the title.
I think the fans love Penta, but I don't think they love Penta having the title. And there's a difference, right? Is that I think Penta is a guy, and we've said this, right? Like, we think that he should have a pretty... We think he should have the belt until at least SummerSlam, right? But can we see him losing that before? Yeah, we can. And would it affect him? I don't necessarily think it would affect him just because he's that big of a star where he doesn't necessarily need the Intercontinental Championship. You know, he can be able to create feuds and have great matches with virtually anybody in that particular division, but does him having the IC title make him a little bit more interesting? I would say no. I just think that he just doesn't really need the title. I think it needs to be on somebody like an Ethan Page that can be able to kind of take it and kind of shake up the division a bit, right? Because outside of Ethan Page, everybody's kind of the same type of archetype type of wrestler. You know, Dragon Lee, Penta, Javon Evans, you know, Rusev is the outlier because he's the monster, but everybody else is just kind of the same. Ethan Page is very different. Right. And with an Ethan Page, you can be able to have so many different feuds for many months to be able to go ahead and throw at Ethan Page. And that would be something interesting because you're making the Intercontinental title scene a lot more interesting, giving Ethan Page the championship. Yeah. There's one thing though.
And what is that one thing, sir?
One thing that I noticed that he's going to have to change after a while.
Who? Ethan Page or Penta?
Neither. That OG cutter, he's going to have to change that move after a while.
Because he's eventually going to miss.
He's going to miss, but he lands very hard every single time. And that's just not a move that you can be able to do for 5 straight years. It's just not going to happen. I cringe every time he does it because he's so young and doesn't really know what he's doing that you don't realize the damage that you're doing to yourself. It looks cool, but that's not a way to get longevity in this game.
He's not even 22 yet.
I don't care. You know, he reminds me of Jeff Hardy, and I just don't want to see the same thing outside of the, you know, outside of the, you know, his personal stuff. But
no, go into great detail about it.
No, I will not. I will not. I like Jeff Hardy too.
And if you're listening and have no idea what we're talking about, Google it.
Yeah, just Google, put in Jeff Hardy and enjoy. So yeah, I would love for him. He can have some top rope stuff, but I just don't want that move. I don't like it enough for him to keep it long term. I just don't.
Right. Yeah. Becky Lynch came out to the ring, cutting the promo about how she defeated AJ Lee, wants to be a fighting champion, issues an open challenge. It is answered by Io Sky. And this was probably the worst ever comparison to Marty Jannetty I've ever heard in my life. How are we saying the multi-time women's champion, multi-time tag champion, NXT champion, is what many people say is the just best female wrestler in the WWE today. And she's the Marty Jannetty because her partner currently is champion.
And the best in the world, probably.
I mean, it's neck and neck between the two, really.
Yeah.
So I just found that to be hilarious. So they have a match, as we kind of alluded to earlier. Asuka came out, helped the interference. Becky wins, which then the crowd was chanting for "We Want Kyrie" as Asuka beat her down.
Yeah.
The match itself was great because, like, this is a feud I would love to build up.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think those two would have a great series of matches. But honestly, the way this was, I really wanted, whether it was Soruka again, whether it was someone else called, whether it was someone we haven't seen on TV in a while, like, hey, when someone is issuing an open challenge, that is designed to bring someone into the match that we haven't seen either in a while or ever.
Yeah, introduce new blood.
Right. And then Becky can beat them. Like, I don't care about that. But, so when
give them the stage.
Yeah, so when Io came out, it was just like, hey, well, excited for the match, but also was like, I don't want this to start from an open challenge thing.
Right. No, I agree. I think the match was solid, but it was just one of those nothing burger type of segments. You didn't need this. Like, if you want to create a feud between Becky and Io, you don't need this type of angle to do so.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, yep. Io can be able to just start stringing together some wins and ends up in a tag match with Becky or some shit, and she gets a pin on Becky. You build the feud. Now Becky's kind of like, she got to figure out how to be able to like oust Io because Io was so good, and she has to be the swarmy heel. Like, there's so many different ways that you can be able to book this outside of an open challenge. So I agree. They need to keep the open challenges for, people that are debuting, new stars, or somebody who's literally we would never expect to be able to come there and just get a pop like that. That's how they should continue to design it, because Becky's good enough to be able to help people get over without not necessarily like, making herself look bad as well. Right. Mm-hmm. So you don't need to put Io in this spot. Put somebody else in that spot that deserves the rub, because Io can be able to do it on her own. She doesn't need the rub.
I'm just looking at the order, and I'm shaking my head at this because I already forgot it happened, and now I'm being reminded it happened. Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I love Joe Hendry.
Same.
Joe Hendry, with his Raw debut, again, does not get an entrance, and then is debut in a song. Well, you know what? If you don't know who Joe Hendry is, since Monday Night Raw has not hyped him up to introduce people who might not be familiar, who might not watch NXT or might not have watched TNA, you don't know who the hell this guy is.
No.
So all of a sudden, he's in the ring without an intro doing a concert. And he starts singing a song announcing that he's signed to Raw. Cool. Then mentions that they should fire Logan Paul. 72 hours ago, we just fired 24 people. And now we are doing a song in parody about firing someone, which the crowd is laughing and singing along because, granted, we all hate Logan Paul. I get it. But the purpose of the song was to make light of firing someone. And how it should have been done was Joe Hendry starting the song, interrupted by the Vision for whatever reason, like, hey, this is our time. What are you doing out here? Blah, blah, blah. And then Joe Hendry could have continued his second verse that involved mentioning you should fire Logan Paul. But instead, unprovoked, he talks about firing Logan Paul. Last time I checked, Joe Hendry is not a tag team. He is one human being. And then the Vision come out, and this is the angriest Logan Paul has ever been in the history of the world. He is yelling off the top of his lungs to stop saying that he should be fired. And I'm not going to be fired. But again, we're hammering down the word fired over and over after all these people just lost their jobs. And this is the first televised thing since all that happened. It was just in such bad timing and organization. And then Street Profits came out, fought him off to make the save, blah, 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 because obviously we're billing to that. You could not, honestly, I cannot think of a worse way to have debuted Joe Hendry than this.
Yeah, and no vignette, nothing.
No vignette, no introduction of who he's singing. Yeah. Obviously, no feud because you did a song towards a tag team. There was nothing with this at all.
Even when they cleared the ring and Joe Hendry's song started to play, Montez Ford is doing the wave way too early. And Joe Hendry just looks like he's looking for the cadence to be like, all right, I need to do this. And I'm not being able to do this. I'm just looking at him like, poor guy. I felt bad for him. I really did.
Joe Hendry can come out there with an entrance, sing a song about, hey, I've signed with Raw. He gets interrupted by someone that makes either an impromptu match where Hendry wins or Hendry hits him with the guitar.
Yeah.
Boom. Problem solved. We understand who he is.
Yeah.
And instead we got that.
Right, because the thing is, Street Profits come out and help Joe Hendry. So you're going to have Joe Hendry in the Street Profits corner?
No, because you're supposed to have Seth Rollins in the Street Profits corner because we also had that backstage interaction.
So what was this for Joe Hendry?
That is my entire freaking point.
Got it. Could have picked anybody for him to pick out. Why Logan Paul? Just
anybody. Anyone, any heel on the roster.
Yeah, I agree.
That was not an attack. You know, hold on. This got me hot. I'm pulling up the Monday Night Raw roster right now.
You know who he could have called out?
Besides Grayson Waller, who obviously was already preoccupied tonight.
That's who I was thinking they could have gave over somebody else instead of Grayson, and that would have made sense.
I mean,
he could have called out Kofi Kingston.
He could have called out either Kofi or whether Xavier is healthy or not. Hey, was Dominic there tonight?
Right.
Could have called him out. Could have called out JD McDonough. Made fun of his forehead.
Right.
So there's a couple options right there. Who else do we have on the roster? Sorry, my computer just like refreshed on me.
Yeah.
Who else could have been another person? I mean, technically, if we're teasing the Usos as heels, you could have said someone, and he could have had a singles match against one of them. Yeah, I mean, that would have been a little bit of a stretch, but would have made more sense than Logan Paul.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, we just named 4 or 5 different people.
Yeah.
That would have worked out no problem.
This just didn't make any sense.
So, yeah, awful. Then we have Rey Mysterio versus Grande Americano. Why did this feel like this was really the first time that the commentators were really emphasizing how old Rey Mysterio is? Like, now, are we just realizing now that this dude's in his 50s and still going crazy?
And still looks extremely good.
And still incredible?
Yeah.
I did also love the backstage promo that happened with this, where he's talking to OG Grande Americano, and then they get interrupted by other Grande Americano. And Rey is talking about how, have to honor tradition of Lucha Libre. And both the Grande Americano, yes, of course. That's exactly what we're doing. I mean, we're totally honoring it right now. And, Rey is just like, I'm dying inside right now because of having to be the voice of reason in this thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they suddenly decide to push and make Ray the referee for that mask versus mask match.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be in Triple H, so why not have Ray down there?
And they are doing a tremendous job at hyping it up because they spent a good chunk of Raw hyping up this mask versus mask match that's going to be on AAA.
Yeah, I am curious to see it just because of how much they hyped it up.
Yeah. Ray got the win. But I mean, yeah, it's just, interesting where they're going with this because we're more interested in what's happening with the Grandes. So that was that. And then Oba and Waller. I really thought this would have gone like 45-minute barn burner. But shockingly it did not. Oba won in about a minute. And I am torn on his post-match promo.
Same.
And you go first as to why you're torn, and let's see if we're torn for the same reason.
I just feel that you are literally going against what you've built.
How so?
Obafemi doesn't need to do that. Like, you don't need to have him pander to the crowd. You don't need to have him do his kind of like watered down version of what Roman does or what CM Punk does. Like, they're literally trying to push him as a babyface in the worst way possible that you're trying to push a monster babyface.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he dominates and people will continue to love him. You don't need to give him the mic for him to do this thing here because you're ruining his aura. You're ruining what makes Oba great. Now, granted, he did a lot of talking in NXT, but that doesn't necessarily mean that needs to translate to the main roster. He speaks when it's time to.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the whole Brock feud was so good, because we didn't get him talking until it mattered. I didn't need this from Oba. What I needed was him squashing Grayson Waller, him doing his pose in the ring, and him leaving. That's it. You continue to build the monster because, again, if we are going to give him the same blueprint that we gave Brock Lesnar in 2002, 2003, where he just laid waste to every single person on the roster. You never heard from Brock Lesnar.
You didn't hear from Brock because Paul Heyman was talking for him.
Granted, yes, but like,
but he was there week after week, just squashing people.
Even if he didn't have a Heyman, I still feel that you wouldn't have heard from a Brock because it wasn't necessary. He laid waste until he got all the way to SummerSlam and became WWE champion after beating Rock. That's the way you need to book Obafemi. Period.
So I am torn on this for actually a different reason then.
Okay.
And I get what you're saying, and it makes very valid sense. I had no problem with the promo.
Okay.
And I thought what he said was fine. The big thing with it is, on the good side, cool. This is a way, like Brock when he first came out, that we can have Oba out there most weeks wrestling people and not be involved in the title picture for now.
Keep him away.
Keep him away. You're building him up. Eventually, he gets to the number one contender from something.
Yep.
So that's cool. Here's the downside. Barry, we're going to pretend you're Adam Pearce for a moment.
Sure.
I'm going to be representing the entire Monday Night Raw locker room. And you're coming in because there's an Obafemi Open Challenge. So if you mind entering the locker room to try to see who might want to step up.
Gentlemen, we have this Obafemi Open Challenge.
Oh, okay.
Who wants to step up? Who wants to make it official?
What's in it for me?
A chance to be in the ring with Obafemi.
But why do I want to get destroyed if I don't have a shot at the title or anything?
Because the fans love Obafemi. And
But what does that have to do with me? Why do I want to risk my body and get destroyed by him without the possibility of me getting a title shot? What's the point of an open challenge if there's no championship involved?
Well, because you're getting the rub that Obafemi's in the ring.
I'll just hang out on catering.
So what are we going to do?
I'll be a catering.
Challenge? Does anybody want to do this? Does anybody want to step up to Obafemi Open Challenge? Anyone? Nobody?
Oh.
Well,
I mean, you might want to call TNA or something. Maybe someone will want to show up for that.
If anybody change their mind, I'll be in my office.
Oh, okay. Well, have a drink because
that's exactly what you're doing. So we took what
and scene, by the way, and scene. Right. Thank you, everybody. I just acted as the entire Raw locker room.
So we took what Brock Lesnar did, and now we're giving it to Obafemi.
Well, it wasn't even really an open. Was it an open challenge that Brock had?
Yep.
But then, so I questioned it back then. Why are people wanting to step up if there was nothing on the line?
Yeah.
What is in it for me? What is in it for me to step in the ring with this monster who just destroyed Brock Lesnar? Now, if I win, do I become number one contender? Because then I'll give it a shot.
I think the best way that they should have booked this, you take a little Teddy Long, take a little Adam Pearce, and
he just punishes people by having them face.
That's what I'm saying. You have some backstage promos where somebody and he, taps them on the shoulder. Hey, you look like you're pretty spry tonight. Guess what you're doing tonight?
And that I think would be the only way to salvage this is where Adam Pearce forces people to answer the open challenge.
Right. Because people are not answering the call. And now he's saying, I'm now going to handpick whoever goes into the ring.
Next week, you see Kofi berating Grayson Waller for him. And Adam Pearce comes by and Kofi says something. It was like, oh, well, it looks like we have our first person to sign up for the open challenge. What? Right. I didn't sign up for this. Oh, now he has a match. Yeah. The following week, it's JD or whoever. And it's like, oh, no, you signed up. I'm like,
you just keep feeding people to them, but you find interesting ways to be able to get them in the ring with Obafemi.
Right. And because you have to have people slowly but surely start getting a little bit of offense in.
Yeah.
Like eventually someone gets him down to a knee. Eventually someone actually knocks him down.
Yeah.
But obviously you got to move up higher and higher and higher on the card to do that.
Yep.
I agree. The first person who's going to answer this is going to be Otis.
Yeah.
And then it'll be Tozawa. And then it will be Otis and Tozawa.
Yep.
And then we just keep going from there, I guess.
I just, this is what you call lazy booking to me. Just lazy. Yeah, just uncreative, lazy nonsense.
Following that, to me, was the highlight of the entire show.
Oh, okay.
And that was the backstage segment leading into the match with Judgment Day against Bayley and Lyra. Because we are in Roxanne's hometown of Laredo, Texas. And oh my God, you would have thought it was John Cena tonight. The pop that Roxanne got went from the backstage to first tag in. Unbelievable. Like, you could see her having so much trouble keeping it together.
Yeah.
And that made me it's moments like that I even get emotional, like watching at home, because I can only imagine how incredible of a feeling that must have been for Roxanne.
Yeah.
With her family, friends, and thousands of fans being like, that's our own.
Yeah.
In this huge spotlight. And you set up that Liv was talking to her backstage about Finn, and then And then Finn has Danhausen powers, apparently, because then he just magically appeared. But you're seeing, because we talked about this on the show a number of times, we're like, okay, after Mania, between Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne, which one is turning?
Looks
and clearly
like
the answer is going to be Roxanne.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. I think that will work just fine. And then the tag match was good, and Roxanne got the win. But again, you're building the ascension with Liv. You're building them up in the tag division. Finn is still around. And now you have officially planted the seeds for the Roxanne face turn. It's so crazy how there were so many areas that we have talked down about weird decisions and weird booking. Yet here, hey, this is how you do it.
The only one
Why
thing
can't you do this with everything else?
Yeah, the one thing I didn't like about it is the fact that why they gotta go ahead and stomp my girls out. I don't like that.
I mean, someone had to lose.
They didn't have to have them.
All right, what other tag team on Raw would you have?
I don't know. Call somebody up. I don't know. Yeah, just don't do this to Bailey. I don't like when Bailey loses. I don't like it.
I'm not happy that she lost, but someone's got to lose.
I don't like it. Okay.
Well, yeah, I loved all this for Roxanne.
I think Roxanne is a star. We all know that. Like with all of her work in NXT, she's absolutely amazing. And I think a feud between, and obviously this is down the road, but a feud between Liv and Roxanne might be box office. Might be box office. And you might get some really good TV out of that. And I'm looking forward to that.
And you know what else you're going to get out of that?
What?
We're going to get Liv and Raquel against Roxanne and AJ Lee.
Oh. Well, I mean, that is true because Roxanne is a punker. So,
I mean, she pretty much calls AJ her mom.
Yes. So, not bad. Not bad.
And then Raw wraps up with Roman Reigns in the ring. I've had a week to think about this thing. Why does Roman get to decide whether or not Jacob Fatu is the number one contender?
Because he's the OTC. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
No, it doesn't. It does not. Why is he the only one that's allowed to do this? Why is he the only one that's
is Mr. WrestleMania, Mr. Box Office, okay? I'm the $1 billion man. You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. Did you not hear what he said in the ring? Huh?
Like I wanted this to like start, and then I just wanted Adam Pearce to walk out and be like, Finn's number one contender. I don't know what's going on here, but like I'm the one in control based on wins and losses. And
Roman Reigns says that they made this title despite me. And titles don't make the person makes the title. Right? This is mine. And I had this title defended on night 2 of WrestleMania. It was never defended on night 2 of WrestleMania since it started, since they brought this toy back. Okay? I'm the guy. I call the shots. I do whatever the hell I want to do. Okay? OTC.
Yeah. Well, Roman's talking. Fatu comes out. And then Fatu brings up that it was actually Solo who's the one who brought him in, which made me be like, "Oh, we're Solo who just lost on SmackDown. We're bringing him into all this now."
And you're talking good about
intriguing.
Solo?
And you're saying a nice thing about Solo. And Roman then called Jacob unhinged, which then Jacob then went unhinged. And I did love this. We got the Tongan death grip.
Horse.
Made most famous. I know you're kind of referencing Berserker with that. But most famous by Haku or Ming.
Well, Ming used to make that sound too. Horse.
Oh no, but see, the Berserker, when he walked to the ring, he was just holding his hand and doing that like all the damn time.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, he used the tongue and death grip, which I love because you know what? Too many people do the goddamn moonsault.
Yes.
So let him be psychotic and make this his finisher.
If this is gonna be his finisher, I like it.
Yes,
I like it because it gives him a more of an edge that he should have that he started with, and then he lost.
Right, but again, we now have the scenario where Roman, who is supposed to be the heel, and Fatu is supposed to be the face. Fatu attacks Roman. Roman didn't hit him first. Fatu attacked him, laid him out with the crowd confused, and then Roman gets on the mic and says, "You got your title shot," which is a very babyface thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's how Raw ends. Well, we now going to have Roman and Fatu at Backlash. Look, we already know Fatu is not winning this, but where the hell is this going then? Because now, obviously, Solo is somehow involved.
I think that how this is going to end.
The entire MFT is going to be moving to Raw, or is it just going to be Solo?
I think how this ends is that Fatu loses, maybe with the help of the Usos, and Fatu acknowledges Roman. That's what I think happens. So it was just very awkward though, because the thing with me is that
it was so awkward.
They and there's a trend happening here that, you know, we got some awkward promos from Punk and Reigns. Punk and Reigns, and then they course corrected. Fatu is such a passionate talker, but you have to give them something to work with.
Right.
And whatever angle this is not, if you keep the angle the same, there's substance there, right?
Sure.
Where Jacob is literally obsessed with being the head of the table. I was in jail for mad long. I was locked down. I didn't have nothing. I was twiddling on the indies while you was over here making mad money and being a star, and the Usos are here and everybody's over here making money while I'm the cast off. I'm the person, I'm the problem child. I'm the person that doesn't get a chance to get the opportunity when I'm the most talented person in this family. Nobody can touch me in the ring, not even you.
Right.
And who gives me the opportunity? It wasn't you that made the call. It wasn't Jimmy and Jay that made the call. It was Solo that gave me the opportunity. You never wanted me here. You know why you never wanted me here? Because you knew exactly what I would do when I got here. It was only a matter of time before I came for your ass. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to hold me down. I need to get every dollar that I lost when I went down, when I did my bid. I got to get it all back. And I don't care who I have to run through. If I got to run through you, if I got to run through the Usos, if I got to run through Solo and those MFT dudes again, I will do it to make sure that my family is secure and I'm the head of the table. Boom. That's the story.
That was almost all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yes, it is.
He's incensed with missing time being here. He's done with it. He's done with being somebody's henchman. He's done with being a person that's just squandering around with these pointless feuds. He wants to cut the line and get to exactly where he needs to get to because he felt that he lost time. That's it.
The only way right now, in my opinion, now I'm sure they'll think of a different way with like some promo or something. But to me, the only way to keep Roman as the super heel in this and Fatu as the super babyface is next week it is revealed that Roman was the one who took out Fatu all those months ago when he thought it was McIntyre.
How would you put that together, though?
Be like, you've been so nearsighted, you haven't seen anything or this or that. Why do you think you were gone all that time and you were going after McIntyre? Why? Because I kept you distracted so I can get back what was rightfully mine.
You were too hot. Everybody was talking about you. It's not about you.
But all you had to do was ask for security footage. Here it is.
Yeah.
And then it's just, but it's just like, it'd be so dumb. But if you want Fatu to be the face in this, you got to do that. And then it all makes sense for him to snap and go nuts. Because, hey, you took away money, took food off my table, took time off for me wrestling. He was gone for a few months because of that. Hey, Roman's the reason that he was gone? Oh, now I want to take your head off even more.
Right. Yeah.
But are they going to do that? No.
They still have time to be able to course correct.
Sure.
And give us exactly, because it's a couple of weeks, right? I think it's I think they
got 3 weeks. I think they got 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Let me double check. Backlash is, oh no, I lied. It's May 9th. They got one more Raw.
Right. So they have to. Now here's my question, because we're kind of predicting what we see on Raw next week.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get a couple of segments where Roman is on TV on Raw on Monday, or we just get the one?
We'll get a backstage. We'll get a backstage segment and a contract signing.
Okay,
that's my guess.
Now in that contract signing, do we course correct here, or do we just get a melee, feud or type of fight before the actual pay-per-view match? Because I don't want to see that. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see that.
I'm not sure, but I would expect the Usos and maybe Solo to be involved in it.
Yeah. We didn't go over the opening video with Roman and the Usos.
We didn't.
Did you catch something at the end?
Remind me.
They didn't use the bloodline.
What did they use?
They used something else.
Which was?
I can't remember. That's why I'm asking if you remember. But there's a name that they're using now that's not bloodline. Very interesting.
I don't know.
Hold on, I got you. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, try to look that up, because I'm not sure what it was, because honestly, as it started, I was like making dinner, so it was just on in the background, so I wasn't even and listening to that full little video that they made.
He called them the first family.
Okay.
I don't know if I hate that.
No, I mean, the name is fine.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think what we're getting is that they're going to give us the bloodline story, but it's not the bloodline story.
But why would we change the name?
I don't know. I think that it's more of Roman's manipulation, where he's trying his best to tell the Usos that, hey, we're in this together, when he's really not. Because that's the way the segment went. Remember, he's asking them advice. They're giving him advice. He's taking it in now. Thank you so much for this. I'm going to go ahead and download this and, kind of spin it in my way and make my decision. But I appreciate all the help that you guys gave me.
But
We never seen that before.
And the other thing that we got tonight that we didn't touch on was a quick backstage promo with the Usos and LA Knight.
And LA Knight, right.
Where last week it seemed all said that LA Knight was going to be the next one to face Gunther.
Yeah.
And then there was no Gunther tonight.
No.
And LA Knight was getting into Usos business again.
Yeah. They just can't separate LA Knight from the bloodline, which
they can't. They just can't.
Why can't you just get? There's so many other things that you can be able to give him. Hey, here's a big one. Here's a big one. I got it. Here's a big one. Move him to SmackDown and get him off of Raw. It's over.
So he can feud with the MFTs.
I'd rather that. At least it's something different. At least it's something different. Where I can see him and Tonga Loa have one of the worst matches in WWE history.
Oh,
why
God.
not?
I mean, we watched him slip off the announce table.
Have you ever seen anything as stupid as you ever seen that? Like, they were looking at him like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Why are you on the floor right now?
Get up. Get up. Go that way. He is the botch master, and I love him. I love him for it. He's the only person that can do it, and it's funny to me.
Sin Cara walked so Tonga Loa can run.
Oh, my goodness. But that was Raw in a nutshell. Very strange.
Yeah.
But, again, I agree with you. I think that he should definitely keep the Tonga Death Grip. I think that's an absolute great move for him to continue to use.
I would, with video games and creating wrestler stuff like that. It's like, I would always have like two finishers. My finishers would be pretty much kind of like TKO, because I like that way into the RKO.
Yeah.
And the Tongan Death Grip. I loved that move because it's like you could submit him, you could pin him,
right?
You could just make him pass out,
right?
And it was just like, great. We're just beating down the head and the neck, and then bam.
Tongan Death Grip. That's it. They're not getting out of this one. Like that. I think what we're seeing, because if you notice towards the end, he was getting a lot of boos.
Right. That's the part I was questioning.
But I think that's where they want him to go. Because again, Fatu, as much as the fans loved him and he had this like rise, I think it came too early to make the switch. He is awesome as a heel.
Oh, 100%.
Amazing as a heel, because that's his character. He's the Samoan werewolf. Whatever the fuck that means, it just makes sense that he's just this dastardly character. He's this beast, and you can't control him, and he's unhinged, and you can't contain him. That's exactly what it is. Dracula had the Wolfman that he couldn't contain, right? Like it's fine. Like it is. That's the way he's supposed to be used. Leave him the way he is right now, so he can be able to just pick on people and assault people and do whatever the hell he wants to do on Raw, if he's gonna stay on Raw, hopefully. Yeah. They just need to continue this character. You know what I mean? And it makes sense that if they're going to continue this character for him, that he's definitely going to be Roman Reigns as Wolfman, 100%.
And I will raise you one with that. You keep doing this. Roman wins. LA Knight has been continuing to be questioning things. Yeah. The Raw after Backlash, LA Knight gets too close to the Usos for whatever reason, and Fatu murders him.
100%.
And that's the way that Fatu gets introduced to be with them.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, if they do that now, whatever bloodline story they told before, this has a potential to be really good. Just because you now have an obedient werewolf, where if he's going to take
one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, he's not obedient to Roman. He's not obedient to the Usos, but he's obedient to Solo.
So we're putting
And you bring
Solo back
Solo in it, and then you got them all.
Wow.
Why not? Why not?
Bring Solo back to the
You have
fold.
Solo go after the IC title. Fatu is the bodyguard for everyone.
Usos get the tag belts back.
Maybe Usos get the tag belts back. Like if you want to do that story, where then you break it off from there, and then eventually Jay turns again or someone turns again. But you can 100% rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And some people will like it and some people will hate it. But you
Yeah.
know what? The bulk of the Bloodline story was on SmackDown.
Right. So all you're doing now is giving the Raw audience
Now you're giving it to the Netflix audience.
Their version of it, because they've been wanting Roman to be somewhat full-time, and he's going to be full-time through the spring and the summer, which is it's gonna make Raw better. It just is. So I'm just curious to see how they build this, because if you're gonna go ahead and make the first family this dominant force on Raw, then now you're telling the story. The person that's going to be able to end this is the ruler.
So we're probably around like the bottom of the 5th inning at this point.
Fifth, maybe fourth.
Only the 4th inning? Jeez, there must have been like a long ass rain delay in this game or something.
Or they just kept batting around. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the score is 1-billion to nothing.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's just, but we'll see, man. It has potential, but I hope they don't screw this up. It's Roman, so that they're not going to be able to screw it up too much, because there's too many good people that are actually in this to be able to make sure that it goes well. Paul Heyman is not going to allow this thing to screw up. So, looking forward to it. But I really feel bad for LA Knight. It's just like enough, dude. Like, if you're not going to utilize him the right way, then just send him to SmackDown and let him become the guy that he was going to be when he was on SmackDown. He was the hottest guy on the planet when he was on SmackDown.
Yeah, he was
the hottest. If you put him back on SmackDown, he can continue to be that. Listen, the way SmackDown's roster looks in a title picture, I can clearly see that there's a path at him winning a championship on SmackDown.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, again, he can immediately be jumping in with Cody.
Yeah.
He can immediately be jumping in with Trick.
Yeah.
He could have a feud with the heel Sammy if they really wanted him to.
Right. There's a lot of different.
There are a number of different areas where LA Knight could thrive on SmackDown.
Yeah, and carry the show with a whole bunch of other people, man. It's just I just hate to see it, but it might happen. But he's just super redundant at this point, and he's too talented to be redundant. So, any final words, sir?
Sandpaper.
Nice.
You asked for a final word. That was my word.
I did. I should have clarified. You
Next
need to
time,
hurry up and watch. You need to hurry up and watch the Hulk Hogan documentary. I'm sick of you. You took all this time to do laundry. You could have been watching the Hogan doc and do laundry. You need to learn how to multitask. I'm sick of it. Enough.
I had to catch up on my other YouTube shows that I'm subscribed to that I didn't get to watch while I was in Vegas for a week. And that's how I spent the weekend. I caught back up with those. That's not my excuse. That's a fact.
That's your watch. You just had a whole bunch of stuff on your watch later. Just enough. Okay, watch the Hogan doc. God. Don't annoy me.
Too late.
You're a good guy, but watch the doc.
That's debatable.
Okay? Watch the doc. Did you see the Trailblazers doc?
On the Portland Trailblazers? No, I did not.
You gotta watch that on Netflix. It's an untold episode.
Okay.
Very good. About Bob Whatsit, one of the dumbest general managers ever.
Well, their current owner is a moron as well right now. But
Yes, he is. Cheap bastard. That's what he is.
yeah.
But yeah, so lots of good stuff. We will be back next week. We will watch some SmackDown. We will review SmackDown next week. We just didn't. There's just no reason to review SmackDown this week because there's bigger fish to fry. But next week we'll go ahead and review SmackDown. Hopefully it's good.
And it's gonna be back to 2 hours soon once Braun Strowman starts eating everything on the menu again.
Is he back?
They filmed season 2, and when it airs of like eating everything on the menu, SmackDown will be back down to 2 hours.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because they're going to put it on after SmackDown again.
So it was only 3 hours for a selected period of time?
Yep. And it will go for 2 hours. And then when they're done with original content, it will go back to 3.
Oh, God. SmackDown just needs to be an hour. How about that? They would get a lot done in an hour. Just end the suffering and the pain for people. 3 hours is a lot.
I mean, hell, now Raw has no restriction, and they never go above 2.5.
No, I love it that way. To be honest, the commercial
because you never know exactly when it's going to end.
Right.
It's always roughly around the same area.
Yeah,
but it's never. It's 7:30. Click, done.
The commercials don't even really bother me as much on Raw. It bothers me on the PLEs. For Raw, you expect it, but for the PLEs, come on now, like. That thing that you sent me on TikTok was funny as hell.
Like, yeah. Someone made a TikTok of, the then, now, and forever. And it just kept getting interrupted by commercials.
That was absolutely great. I enjoyed that. It's just exactly what it is. We are in the ad space era. That's what we're in. We had the attitude era. We had the ruthless aggression era. We have the ad space era. That's where we're at. So, till next week, stay safe, stay cool. Peace.